You're a first-time CEO. You're going to make mistakes. That's what investors say about first-time CEOs. And you know what? They're right. You're gonna make mistakes. However, why make mistakes when you can avoid them? In today's video, I'll walk you through the top 10 mistakes that first-time entrepreneurs make, and I'll help you avoid them too. And you'll want to wait around and watch the end of today's video for mistake number 10, because this is definitely one mistake that you absolutely positively do not want to make. In my career, I've built many businesses to over $100 million a year in revenue. And I've helped many startup CEOs just like you build their businesses too. So let's get started. If you're not already a subscriber, then hit that subscribe button right now, and you'll get notified every time I release a new video. The top 10 mistakes that first-time entrepreneurs make can be broken up into 4 groups. Group number 1, team building. The first mistake is choosing the wrong co-founders. Did you know that over 50% of all co-founder relationships fail? It's true, and I know this from personal experience. Of my 4 co-founders, 2 of them didn't make it past 1 year. One way you can prevent this from happening is bringing on co-founders that are just as fanatical as you are about the startup you're going to build. If you realize that you've brought on the wrong co-founder, then don't wait. Ask your co-founder to leave the company immediately, because it's only going to cause more problems the longer you wait. The second issue is no vesting schedule for your co-founders. Now, this is also very common. Let's say it's just you and your co-founder, and you decide you're going to give yourself 60%, your co-founder 40%, and you write up a contract that's just a Word document saying, I get 60%, you get 40%. And then you know what happens? Your co-founder leaves. Now, how do you avoid this mistake? Well, you have a vesting schedule for all of the equity, including yours, by the way. And it should go like this: a 1-year cliff, and then everything vests monthly for the next 3 years. That's a typical vesting schedule for most startup founders. Now, let's say you weren't as lucky as this and you didn't have the foresight to have a vesting schedule for your equity. All is not lost. You can solve this problem by negotiating with your co-founder for an equitable agreement that will work out for you and your co-founder. I write about this in the blog post linked in the show notes below today's video. Now, the bottom line here is hire a lawyer that's experienced in startups to help you navigate this situation. Now, the third issue is you don't spend enough time recruiting. You should be spending at least 50% of your time recruiting new hires. And you should be personally interviewing every single candidate, regardless of whether or not they work for you or somebody else in the company. Change your priorities if you're not spending at least 50% of your time recruiting, because the key to building a great company is building a great team. Group number 2, management. The first one in this group is you're not in the quote-unquote details enough. Now, what does this mean? Well, let me give you an example of this. Well, let's say it's just you and your CTO, and you really don't know what's going on in your CTO's area, and you just superficially know what's happening there. You're just leaving it all to the CTO. That's not good CEO management. Or maybe you don't know what the company's burn rate is. This means how much money the company is losing every month. There are tons of small details that you need to be aware of as a startup CEO. The key is knowing all these details and managing them appropriately. The second one in this group is not being transparent with your team. So let me give you an example of this, which is just classic. Let's say you're behind in your revenue plan. Never happens with a startup, right? Of course, it always happens. And you're afraid to tell your team because you're afraid your team's going to walk out the door. Instead, be transparent with your team. You'll earn their trust, and when you need them to rally, When it's really critical, they will. Here's an example from my career of how this paid off. We needed our team to rally, and we were transparent with them all throughout the company's history. And we came to a point where we were forced to put everybody on minimum wage. Pretty scary point to be on, right? Minimum wage. You're going from making a lot of money to no money because that was the only way we could save the company. And we went up in front of the company. I went up in front of the company as a CEO and I told everybody, we're going to minimum wage. Here's why, here's how long, here's what's going to happen. Here are the answers to all their questions. And I answered every single question they had for over an hour. I just answered everything, the good, the bad, whatever it was. And you know what happened? I thought at least we'd lose maybe 10% of our staff. Nobody left. Nobody quit. We were able to save the company through this action. So you'll be surprised too when you ask your team to rally. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then hit that like button right now. Now we come to group number 3 on our list, scaling. The first one on our list is you don't do the selling yourself, you farm it out to somebody. Now this is a classic one that a lot of people with a technical background who have never sold before do. You're afraid, you're concerned, you've never been in front of customers before, so you say, you know what, I'll hire somebody else to do it. And you know what happens? Doesn't work out too well. Instead, what happens is sales continue to flounder and you waste valuable time and money. Now, the solution here is to get out there and sell. I know it's hard for you to believe, but you will be the best salesperson the company has, full stop. And the reason for this is really simple. Even if you have no selling experience, it doesn't matter. You're going to be the one who knows the company's products the best. You're going to be the one who's the most passionate about the company. And guess what? You're the CEO. And customers love meeting with the CEO, even of a small company. All of that can be used to your advantage. That's why this works so well. Also, it's really hard to hire great salespeople when you're just starting out. So you put these two together, you're the right person to do the selling. The second issue in this group is no worst case financial plan. Now let's be honest, we entrepreneurs, we're a pretty optimistic bunch. And a classic mistake that a first-time entrepreneur makes is they don't have any what I'll call downside plan. In other words, no worst case plan. Therefore, if everything doesn't go right, you run out of money quicker than you think. Now, if you're guilty of this, then develop that worst case financial plan right now, today. Don't wait. Get it done. And run your company to this worst case plan until revenue picks up and you start executing better. Now let's go to the final group, group number 4, investors. Now the first one in this group is believing that 51% ownership will give you control. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard this one, the thought process goes like this. I'm worried that investors are going to throw me out as CEO the first chance they get. So I know the only way I can keep control of the company is by owning more than 50% of it. So I have one question for you, and only one question. What happens the next time you need more money? Do you see the problem here? If you need more money, guess what? It doesn't matter whether you own 51%, 45%, 70%, it's irrelevant because you need investors to give you that money. Therefore, you don't have control of the company. It's a false sense of control that you have of the company, and you're going to be surprised. All you have to do is just look up Uber and Travis Kalanick to understand exactly what I'm talking about. The solution here is really simple. Just go out and execute. That's all you need to worry about here. If you and your team execute your plan really well, then your investors are not going to want to fire you. Now, the second one on this part of the list is you wait too long to raise your funding. Let's say you only have 2 months of funding left and you decide now's the time to go raise money. Oh my, what a self-inflicted wound this is. Did you know the average time it takes to raise a round of funding is around 6 months? It's true. So 6 months, maybe more. So you've got to give yourself at least 6 months time, preferably 1 year, to go raise your next round of funding. Now, what do you do if you've waited too long? Well, you've got to cut your expenses to the bone, no matter how hard it is. You've got to make every day matter. If you only have 2 months of runway left, try and make it 3. If you got 1 month, try and make it 2. Whatever it is, get more time because every day matters. Make every day work because that's all you got at this point in time. That's all you can do is try and extend that runway as far as possible and try and make it work. This is the last one on our list. This is the one I never, ever, ever want you to do because when you do this one, it's almost always fatal. And it goes like this. You lie, miscommunicate, or not communicate to your investors or board members. Let's say your company is behind on its development schedule, or maybe you're behind on your revenue schedule. These are 2 common things that hit most startups. It's your moment of truth. Do you not tell investors? Do you mislead investors? Or maybe worse, you lie to investors? I can guarantee you with almost 100% certainty, if you do any of those 3 things, you're likely to pay with your job. You will no longer be the CEO of this company and you will be causing it to likely fail. Now, the reason for this is really simple. You've lost your investors' trust. And this is really hard to get back. The solution here is really simple. Be transparent with your investors about the critical problems that your company is facing. You don't have to tell them that you're out of toilet paper in the bathroom. Who cares? But you do have to tell them about the key issues, the key problems that you're facing. I like to do this in a one-on-one meeting with each board member before each board meeting that I have. Now, if it's a super critical issue, then I'm going to call them immediately. Like, for example, maybe one of your co-founders quit. Well, that's a key issue, especially if the co-founder is an executive of the company. That you can't wait on. You have to let your board know immediately about these things and about these problems. And remember, always have a solution when you meet with your board. Always. So there you have it. The 10 mistakes that first-time entrepreneurs make. What did you learn from today's video? Put your comments in the comments column below today's video. I'd love to hear them. Now, I have one more thing for you today. I have a free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides you need to create a great pitch deck. All you need to do to get your free startup pitch deck template is click the link below today's video and it's yours for free. Now, to get more great video content from me, all you have to do is just wait about 20 seconds and it's going to pop up. There'll be some buttons on the video. All you have to do is just click the links and you'll get more content. If you want to subscribe to my channel, then hit that subscribe button right now and you can do that. If you want to comment on today's video, if you have questions for me, then just leave them in the comments column below today's video. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. I've really enjoyed speaking with you today. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.